Good Sunday morning to you all. We have another Watchmen update. We've got big news items you need to be aware of. A volcano preparing to erupt inside the United States, which is rare. It's a big thing. We've got Yemen about to have a ground war as Allied troops are preparing to capture Hodeidah, the port. We need to talk about Iranian peace talks to avert U.S. airstrikes taking place now. Even just yesterday. We have more judges blocking Trump administration efforts to enforce Title IX requirements on the states and to defend women. Coffee prices, as we've talked about, going vertical out there in the stores. A lot of you Watchmen out there reporting on that and seeing some big price changes. Tariffs are messing up apparel and other product supply chains. So we need to talk about that. We have some folks letting us know what's happening behind the scenes in the supply chains with ordering between China as well as other countries. And one of the greatest April Fool's pranks ever, we need to talk about, just happened about 2 weeks ago. And it involves a man, a helicopter, a bunch of tires, and it ended up causing mass panic and the Coast Guard to respond. It's a good one. We need to talk about it. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in. Appreciate all of you and your participation with the Watchmen community. If you have something to share, make sure you use that word update somewhere in your comment. For those of you who guessed yesterday, I haven't gotten down into the comments just yet, but the answer to the question is I am now 42. So getting up there, a little higher than most of you guessed, but certain life choices tend to keep you a little bit youngerish looking, and thankfully I have been blessed by not being subject to great heartbreak or major relationship issues along the years with divorces or anything like that. So anyway, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. If you have a retirement account or if you just want to get into precious metals, Jonathan and his team can talk to you about how to get into that with your retirement account, or even if you just want to invest in precious metals. If you don't have a retirement account, you can order the precious metals directly to your home. There'll be more information that you can find out through a link at the end of the video. All right, U.S.-backed Yemeni government, and yes, there is the Houthi rebels, as that's why they're always called rebels. It's because the U.S. government sees them as rebelling against the legitimate U.S.-backed government that doesn't really control much territory. Okay, the Houthis basically control most of Yemen, but the U.S.-backed Yemeni government is about to launch an offensive with U.S. backing to capture the port of Hodeidah. That is the major port in Yemen. This would be a major deal. Now, it looks like the United States, what level of support is the United States going to be giving these rebels? Are the Arab states also going to be behind this? Probably. So we may see a major offensive. We're hearing talk of 80,000 troops, and this could be starting any day now. With U.S. airstrikes continuing, it looks like the United States will provide air support. As the United States-Iran talks have begun in Oman, we are now just days away from the Trump deadline at the end of this month. If there isn't an Iranian deal for denuclearization, President Trump has said that Israel will lead the airstrikes and the attacks on Iran to destroy the nuclear program. Of course, the United States has moved significant stealth bombers into the area at Diego Garcia. And whether that is just a bluff in order to get the Iranians to the table, or whether that is a legitimate preparation for large-scale airstrikes in Iran. This would be the best air-defended targets in a long time that any kind of major airstrikes have been taking place against. The Iranian government has been getting a lot of support from Russia, including advanced air defense systems. So this is nothing to joke about. And Iran is a major country. The Iranian Foreign Intelligence Minister was there in indirect talks with U.S. representatives. No word yet on whether any progress is being made, but apparently they're not actually talking to each other. They're just passing notes back and forth, essentially, or I don't know. Apparently the Ayatollah is feeling a lot of pressure from his secular government to have these peace talks because otherwise the people may revolt. So he needs to at least be looking like he's making peace talks. This may mean that this may not go anywhere. DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, savings are now looking at $150 billion so far. They've saved American taxpayers $150 billion this year, and we will see what it looks like next year. But they are continuing to cut, finding waste, fraud, and abuse, and also finding programs that need to be cut. Permanent cuts can be made permanent by the reconciliation process. They can get a majority vote in the House, majority vote in the Senate in order to, once they're like, we don't like this department doesn't need to use the budget that's been allocated to it, they can get Congress and the Senate to vote once each on those, and they can drop that budget down to whatever they want it to be or get rid of the budget completely. They can basically claw back those funds without without the 60 votes in the Senate. A U.S. District Court ordered the U.S. Department of Agriculture to immediately release funding to the state of Maine. All the funding to the state of Maine that's being held up due to Title IX violations. Now, basically, the Trump administration has been trying to hold up all federal funding to the state of Maine while it is violating Title IX statutes and not providing equal access to athletic programs to women as they do men. And that is, they're trying to hold up all federal funding. And so this is Judge John A. Woodcock Jr., who was appointed by George W. Bush, but is now ordering the Trump administration to basically violate the Title IX law. So, yeah, apparently law doesn't really matter these days anymore, it seems like, even to judges. All right, spammers are now using OpenAI's chatbot to automate unique messages and spam for websites, chat messages, as well as emails and such, in order to avert, so we got all the spam bots out there trying to protect our email accounts from all the spam, but the bad guys are using AI for nefarious purposes. So if you thought that's what the future would look like with AI, is that they would be used by scammers to send us all sorts of stupid and deceitful messages, well, that's what it looks like so far. All right, moving up to a volcano inside the United States about to erupt. Mount Spur in Alaska, about 80 miles away from the major city of Anchorage, is looking set to explode, as dozens of earthquakes have been destabilizing its center. It's been putting off steam for the past several weeks, and volcanologists believe that it will erupt. Now, we've had a few eruptions in the Aleutian Islands. We had another eruption in Alaska, not too far away from this volcano. But before that, it was basically Mount St. Helens. So we've had some volcanoes put off some ash and some but not really like lava flows, not really like explosive, eruptions. Though we did have one aircraft flying through Alaska, did fly through the ash cloud and actually lost its engines and had to plummet. And as they came down, they were able to successfully restart their engines and able to successfully land at Anchorage. But that was that's about as bad as it's gotten since Mount St. Helens. So, related to that, as I was looking for that, I came across an interesting story out of Sitka, Alaska, and it's from April 1st. A local man, over several days, took his helicopter in Sitka, Alaska, which is a tourist where all the cruise ships come and everything, took his helicopter and moved 70 tires up onto a neighboring mountain. But it wasn't just any neighboring mountain, it was a volcano, an inactive volcano that hasn't been active since forever. But you can imagine, to the population down in Sitka looking up at the volcano and seeing smoke coming out of the crater. Black smoke coming out of the crater had locals starting to get seriously concerned. The U.S. Coast Guard actually responded to see what was going on and to get a closer up view of what was going on up on the volcano, and they discovered a bunch of burning tires. So kudos to you. That's a pretty good April Fool's Day prank. If you pulled a really good April Fool's Day prank, let us know down in the comments. Just use the word prank somewhere in your comment. Let us know the best ones you pulled off this year, or someone pulled off on you this year. I think that might be the best one this year that I've heard so far. Anyway, JN Moosey says, in the last 3 weeks at Walmart, the price of one of my favorite dish soaps has jumped from $4.30, just in the last 3 weeks, $4.30 to $7.68. And kitty litter has gone from $6.78 up to $7.12, just prices increasing all over the place. I also learned that my car insurance company will be leaving the state of Maine. I have to find new insurance. I had this company for about 3 years. Got them after the last one left the state. Insurance companies, if they can't make a killing on you, they decide to leave. Thomas says, for years, I have purchased 5 pounds of New Mexico Pinot coffee at Costco in Albuquerque. Usually costs $23. Yesterday it was $39.95. Prices going up. Renova. I work for Family Dollar in Texas, and we haven't gotten any Huggies diapers in over a month. No diapers for over a month. We are completely sold out of all sizes. Is anyone else seeing issues with diapers out there? I know that most of my audience's demographics don't have small children, but those of you who are aware, let me know if you guys are seeing any issues with diapers out there. Pickles says, Monday I went to Walmart and purchased GV tuna and GV canned fruit. Went again today, as another YouTuber said, seafood and fruit were going to skyrocket. I went again today, and the fruit jumped $1.48 to $1.66. The 4-pack tuna went from $3.18 to $3.62, and that's because a lot of tuna does get imported into the U.S., and a lot of canned fruit also gets imported into the U.S. So expect those prices to go up. Joyful follower, by the way, a lot of our canned fruit actually comes from China. So applesauce, if you want applesauce, friends, you might want to grab it, because guess where like over 60% of U.S. applesauce comes from? And if you're like China, yes, over 60% of the applesauce in the U.S. comes from China. So That won't be coming into the U.S. anymore. So if you want that, go get stocked up. There's going to be a bunch of food products that are going to be impacted. Spices. Spices may be impacted by the tariffs as well. A lot of spices come from China as well. Joyful Follower says, we have bought green unroasted Colombia coffee. Ooh, hoity-toity. Pinkies up. Off eBay for years because we enjoy roasting them in our cast iron skillet over a camp stove. Now, see, you guys sound like people I need to come visit. That sounds super tasty. Our usual seller, McCaw, no longer is selling them because they say that the cost is too high for them. So we ordered from the source, Rhodes Roast, 2 weeks ago, and the package came through the U.S. Postal Service. This week we ordered another 10 pounds, good idea to be ahead, from them in preparation for the possible price hikes. And this one arrived much more quickly, but came through FedEx. They did not raise the price yet, but I am wondering if they're switching transportation services to save money on their end, or to speed things up and get them past tariffs before they went into effect. Unroasted beans can store for a very long time, and they do double in size when roasted, so it's a more compact and way to stock up on coffee beans. Mark says, Venango County, Pennsylvania. Steve called it. A 30.5 ounce can of Hillbros coffee went from $8.99 to $10.99 at Rural King. You know, just a 25-ish% increase in price. Nothing to see here, friends. Angela says, Tractor Supply has been out of chicks. Today they had chicks, but they had no chick starter feed. Northeast Texas. I guess they have sold so many chicks that they can't keep the feed supply up. Many people in our area have begun hatching their own chicks as well. People are having lots of eggs and posting them for sale on Facebook. Thanks for the news that you provide daily. Well, we do our best to keep up on top of these things, right? Appreciate you guys being part of the community. Watchmen says, West Pennsylvania. I make a point to buy canned vegetables and such every time I stop in the store, regardless of what I'm buying. I usually go for canned potatoes. Just this past week, I realized all the dates were bad on the new cans. They all expire within half a year. Not a single can with a good date. Not good. Keep checking those dates, friends. Rhonda says, our Walmart in Hesperia, California, sends the dented cans for my Walmart delivery orders. Anyone else see that? I know not to get canned stuff from my Walmart delivery because that's where all the canned goods go. They just go out to the people getting deliveries. This is happening too much here in Walmart. Walmart, corn and canned vegetables are now 76 cents a can. Remember when they were below 50 cents a can? Starseed says, hi, Steve. A few days ago, I commented about tariffs and the apparel industry. The good news, tariffs have been temporarily reduced for all the countries except for China. The bad news, factories in China are holding goods and refusing to ship or continue production until tariffs are resolved. Or companies pay upfront and either are reimbursed for their overpayments and production or shipping before shipping can continue. This is not good. Companies are trying to cancel their orders and pivot to factories in other countries because no one in manufacturing and production is going to absorb all these costs. Like, no one wants to pay these tariffs. So what about those orders that are on the books for stuff from China? They can't bring it to the U.S., so they're trying to cancel these orders, right? And here's where it gets worse. Now the factories outside China are being overwhelmed with requests for production. These factories are booked to capacity and probably going to cancel or not accept smaller orders in favor of large production orders. For example, the minimums to produce goods in Bangladesh is now 8,000 to 10,000 units per style. That was before the tariff drama. To the benefit of factories outside of China, this will be good for them, but expect supply chain disruptions this summer and fall. Everything we consume has a just-in-time inventory model, a slight disruption can cause inventory shortages almost immediately. This applies to all goods, not just apparel. Please plan accordingly. Friends, there's going to be a lot of supply chain disruptions. The stuff you see at the stores is not going to look, in a month from now, it's not going to look the same as it does today. When you go into the store, there's going to be a lot of things missing. A month out, 2 months out, 3 months out, 6 months out. The way it looks today is not how it's going to look in the future. That's my warning to you, friends. Please get stocked up on things that you're going to want to have over the next year. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement accounts, there's a link right there on the screen. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. And as usual, the daily deal of the day will be down in the pinned comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.